So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand the transit of Rahu and Ketu in the sign of Aquarius and Ketu in the sign of Leo, that is Singh Rashi. Now the transit is going to be happening from May 2025 this year by the end of next year, that is November 2026. Now Rahu and Ketu actually stays in one particular zodiac sign for approximately 18-month time frame, that is a 1.5 year long period. And there are total 12 zodiac signs in Vedic astrology. So Rahu and Ketu, they eventually comes back to the sign of Aquarius after 18 years, okay? Now if you go back 18 years in the year 2006, 2007 and 8, this is the exact time frame when the Rahu is in the sign of Aquarius and Ketu is actually in the sign of Leo. Now, I don't know, many of you are whether familiar with the major events that have happened during that time frame, but if you are not familiar, I will help you to introduce to the major events that are happened in the past, and then we are going to discuss with regards to our current transit. Now basically in the year 2006, 7 and 8, there are many major events that have taken place. The first main event is from the technology. Invention of the iPhone, Facebook, which we are using nowadays, launching of Twitter, which we call it as X nowadays, okay, which is owned by Elon Musk. So these are some technological events that have actually taken place, and you see the progress, the journey of 18 years where Twitter or where the iPhone is standing right now. Similarly, there are some financial crises, major financial crises I'm talking about, that have happened in the year 2007 and 8, Lehman Brothers crisis, okay. If you're not familiar with these things, you can Google it, you will find out. So there are like financial crisis, major financial crisis period that we can also observe during that time frame. Similarly, there are going to be a lot of advancement, new advancement in the technology have eventually taken place during that time frame. I don't know whether you are familiar with the cryptocurrencies, but nowadays many people are familiar with Bitcoin and these kind of things. So that introduction of crypto into the Bitcoin and these things, they have also nearly taken about during that time frame. Even the women empowerment, many ladies, they are actually going into the politics, they are going into the career curriculum, okay. So women are becoming more career oriented personalities, that have also happened around that time frame. There are also going to be certain earthquakes and some things happened around in the year 2007. So many people died actually. I'm talking about the earthquakes that have happened in Afghanistan, Kabul area. So you see there are many events. Now all that events that have happened way back 18 years ago. So why I'm discussing these events right now? Because this transit of Rahu and Ketu in the sign of Aquarius is going to be similarly going to bring a lot of new revolutionary things in the market. There are going to be many things that are actually going to be totally deleted away, and this is going to be a beginning of new era. Why I'm actually calling this as a beginning of new era? Because the sign of Aquarius, we call it as a Kumbh Rashi. Now Kumbh is the Rashi which is actually ruled by planet Saturn. Saturn is actually the controller of Kumbh. This is a Mool Trikon Rashi. And if you first of all pick Saturn, where is Saturn? That is in the sign of Pisces, in the 12th house actually. So Pisces is the ending point of something where this is the last zodiac sign, and then it comes the sign of Aries and the cycle goes on. So the one cycle is going to end when Saturn is also going to be in the Pisces. I've already made that video over the Saturn in Pisces. You can check that video separately. I will not discuss Saturn in this, but I'm going to discuss Rahu and Ketu more. So here what is happening, first of all, Aquarius is the zodiac sign of money, financial gains. So all the banking institutions which you are familiar with as of now, all the payment methods which you are familiar as of now, doing transactions using your banking or maybe some different transactional methods. So you will see a lot of revolution is going to be happening into the financial markets actually. the medium of exchange is totally going to change. Totally. I don't know what new technology is going to come and abrupt the market. It's not necessary it's only going to be a cryptocurrency. It may be some new or something which is totally unfamiliar. Because Rahu is the invention. This is the planet which shows the things that are totally hidden. No one can predict actually. So if you go back in the year 2001, 2, 3, no one have predicted like Bitcoin and these kind of things will come, but they have eventually come. So that is the reason why I'm talking about there are going to be a lot of advancement that is happening in the medium of exchange. And that is why, and that is my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor or any other person. So this is my personal opinion. Whenever the Rahu energy is getting dissolved in the sign of Aquarius, it's very important for you to first of all diversify your portfolio into different sources of income. It may be real estate, it may be gold, it may be in some other assets like gemstones also, diamonds also, or maybe some other sources. The more and more diversification that you are going to do during that time frame, the more this will be easier for you. Now, I'm not saying the midlife, or I'm not saying actually some new crisis is coming, but there are chances. I'm not denying that fact either, because directly opposite is Ketu. Now, Ketu energy will not feel much comfortable in the sign of Leo. Leo is a fiery tattva. Leo is actually governed by planet Sun, and Sun and Ketu, they are worst enemies. When I say worst enemies, these are the worst enemies. They don't like each other. Ketu don't like Sun and Sun don't like Ketu. Whereas Rahu feel very comfortable in the sign of Aquarius, but Ketu don't feel much comfort in the sign of Leo, because Leo is a power, have the capacity to create. Leo is a trine, okay? If you look into the trine houses, 1st, 5th and 9th. So these are the fire zodiac signs. So Leo is a fire, and Ketu in the sign of creation will not feel comfortable. Ketu is a planet of spirituality, detachment, separation, discontentment, non-satisfaction. So if that Ketu is coming in the sign of Leo, you are forcing Ketu to go into creation. Ketu have nothing to do with creation. Ketu is not a planet of creation. And that is why if you force some planet against its will to go there, this will create destruction up there. And 5th house is the house of actually creation, creativity, entrepreneurship, startup, children and the childbirth. And that is where you see only the top intellectual individuals that are in the top of their business. They have the capacity to survive during this duration. On the other hand, the beginners or the intermediary people, if you're not good at your work, I'm talking about 100% professionalism up there, it becomes very difficult for you to survive with Ketu energy. Because Rahu on the other hand is actually disrupting the market. By mean to say disrupting the market, new things are coming. If for example right now you are having only this much here, Rahu is going to abrupt the market. You will see many people lifestyle, their habits of actually how they are going to spend their money. That part is also going to change totally. This is a total drastic change that you will eventually see when the Rahu is going to be hit specifically in the sign of Aquarius. Even by the end of this year, around October and November month, you will see there are going to be a lot of crashes that might going to happen. Yes, I'm talking about the financial crisis here. The things are actually going to go much deeper and much deeper. Because as I told you, Rahu is also a hype in the market. So you see the products which are overpriced. If you go for purchasing a things which cost this much, now that cost that much, so that is an overpriced value. So Rahu have the capacity to first of all burst that bubble. So bursting that bubble will eventually going to help you to evaluate the actual prices of the properties of the particular shares or particular products. Now you will be able to see the exact prices up there. Because Rahu and Ketu, these axes have the capacity to balance out the different energies. Now I request you to must need to have some good money in your hand during this transit, because it's very favorable for you if you are operating into the markets. You can buy in the dip and then you have the capacity to gain more and more financial freedom during that time frame. Now apart from this abruption in the technological realm and the banking institutions, there are also going to be new advancement that particularly going to be happening into the field of artificial intelligence, robotics and machine learning. And you will see the things which you are doing right now, you are actually getting replaced by robots. Now, I'm not saying every job is getting replaced by robots, okay, because human beings have something which robots don't have, no matter the amount of programming that you can give to them. We as a human being, we are having some sort of sixth sense, which we call it as intuition. Power of intuition is present inside. As a human being, we have that thing. It becomes very difficult to actually have any robot to understand that power of intuition. You can feed all the programs, maybe daily brushing in the morning, reading, learning, they might going to be very advanced in certain things. But in few areas, human beings are actually going to be way more advanced than that robots. But there is no doubt actually, the sign of Aquarius is actually the sign which represents large machineries, large metallic products that are actually getting disintegrated, and then they have the capacity to create something. It may be some machinery or some sort of a product, some sort of a metallic equipment. So that means the large metal bricks pieces are getting toned into smaller, and this will eventually help you to create the technology. Now, this technology is not going to disrupt your day-to-day life, because robots are actually going to come, and you see this will happening very fast. It's not going to take much time. If you are thinking, oh, that is going to be happening maybe 10 years from here now, or in the year 2030, these things might happen. No. Because Rahu in the sign of Aquarius is going to acting as a thrust, okay? So this is going to open all the blockages. Suppose there are many new age inventions that are pending as of now that have not actually came into existence. Many scientists, many engineers, many mathematicians, suppose they are working over that part from past 5, 10, 15 or even 20 years. Rahu immediately going to actually help them to become successful. Whatever the tools, if they required, okay, there is one chip missing. If we insert that chip, everything is working. So that chip is going to be available in the Rahu in the sign of Aquarius. Because Aquarius is the sign which shows the availability of everything is going to be there. And if availability is there, it shows the technological advancement up to very large and very great level. Even if you look Ketu in the sign of Leo actually, now the Simha Rashi or the Singh Rashi is ruled by planet Surya. Now Sun don't stay in one zodiac sign for way longer. Sun is continuously moving. Sun stays in one zodiac sign for approximately 1 month. Then Sun continuously move. Because of the Sun movement every month we are having our life up there. Now you will see I'm not talking about the exact rotation of the Sun, but you see the urja or the heat which is exerted by Surya. If you put one malefic in the Leo, this have the capacity to make Sun exert more power and more urja. I don't know whether you will be able to understand this part or not, but even if you put any malefic, for example, Mars is going in Leo in the transit, Sun need to put more urja, exertion up there. Similarly, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, malefics in the 5th house. So here Surya have the capacity to exert more urja. Now Sun is a burning planet. You can see Sun have the capacity to burn everything. So when Sun need to put more urja, it means heat is going to get on the rise actually. Now when the heat is rising, you will see many catastrophic events. It's not only related to earthquake, it's not only related to burning, it's not only related to cyclones. It might going to be some other catastrophic events that might going to trigger during this Ketu transit in the sign of Leo. You will see the melting of icebergs that will also take place. Because when Sun is exerting more urja, everything is getting melted away. So when the things are actually getting melted away, that is because of Ketu presence up there. Because Surya is exerting more urja. Now Ketu is going to be there for complete 18 months, and you will see the cycle of Surya or the rotation of Surya have the capacity to exert more urja or the more energy up there. And that is where for certain ascendants, this period is not going to be a favorable time frame for the conceiving of the children. And you will see worldwide I'm talking about this impact. The birth rate is going to decrease actually up to very large extent. No matter, like I live in India, this is a very young population and we are overly populated country, but you can look into other countries also. The population is going to reduce actually. Maybe government is going to pay you money if you are going to create more than 2 babies for that part also. But you will see that decrease in progeny is particularly going to be happening. Now, I'm not saying for every person. There are going to be having your individual charts with you. So you can look into your individual chart. You will be able to see predictions in through the more deeper manner. I'm not here actually giving predictions for particular person. I'm making here the global predictions that are actually associated with that part. Next thing is actually the woman empowerment. Now that is also going to be a key theme with the Rahu and Ketu transit, and you will see many women, they might eventually going to lose interest in their professional activities during this time frame because competition is actually going to be on extreme high. Now when the competition is going to rise, why actually I'm saying the woman is getting impacted? Because Ketu is in again Leo. Leo is a Purusha Graha, a masculine energy. So that Ketu energy is also going to trigger the Rahu energy, which is directly opposite. So here what is going to be happening, the Purusha Graha or the Purusharth or the masculinity is going to on rise actually. Okay. Now when the masculinity is going to be over the much rise, that have the capacity to set femininity on the back end actually. So here the masculinity, I'm talking about not masculinity as a male or a female, okay. Every human being have certain percentage of masculinity and femininity present inside them. So I'm talking about that perspective. Even if you are a female watching this video, there might going to be a certain portion of masculinity present inside you. But you can see that percentage might going to vary in this time frame. And here, many new young age professionals, they will eventually enter into the workforce. And that have the capacity to create an abruption in the market. If, for example, you are seeing the industries that are standing here right now for past 100 years, maybe more than 200 years, the industries which are currently right now, okay. Now this transit have the capacity to actually change that industries, complete transformation in that industries is going to be happening. Because Aquarius is not only the technological advancement, that part is also connected with the financial advancement also. So both of these things have the capacity to connect with the Urja of Leo, and that is creation. And that is where you will see there are going to be a lot of creators that is also going to come online during that time frame. Even from the medical perspective, you will see many devices, many medical treatments, many other holistic healing methods. You will see in which subject I am dealing right now is actually Vedic astrology. You will see many people, they are going to be now looking for medical astrology. Advancement is actually going to be happening into the medical side. Now that is a Jeev Atma. Jeev mean Brihaspati, that is Jupiter. So biomedical advancement, biotechnology, microbiology, these things are actually going to be upon rise. Even connecting bio with the medical, with technical, with artificial intelligence, these kind of a career options, they are actually going to be on over rise during that time frame. Aquarius is also a sign which represents the infrastructure development, whether it's building the highways, building different bridges, okay, whether building dams also, big projects I'm talking about, that have the capacity to create mass relocation. That part I have covered in Saturn in Pisces, that mass relocation part which I'm telling you right now. That you will see when Saturn go into in the March month this year. When Saturn will go into the sign of Pisces, you will see that mass relocation. Now why that mass relocation is happening? That is for the infrastructure development actually. This is the first reason. Secondly, it might going to be differ from the ascendant to ascendant, like why that relocation is happening. But you see the mass relocation is going to be happening during that time frame. Like thousands of people or millions of people from one part to go to there, they will go there. Even the particular areas in India that are already overcrowded. Now there are many actually tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, they are extremely populated, because in country like India, if you want to do job after pursuing your maybe bachelor's degree, so you need to go into the workforce, you need to find a job, you need to go into the city, and specifically the big cities. Actually, you need to move towards that area. Only then you will be able to find that part up there. Now, when most of the population is going towards the cities, this will create an overcrowdedness up there. And when the overcrowdedness is going to be happening at one place, it represents the shortage of resources are also going to be there. The very first resource which every person need is actually food. Now, I understand food is in enough quantity, then clothing, then third one is the shelter. Shelter is actually the place where you are going to stay. So the shrinkage of homes you will see in this time frame. Real estate prices, they are also going to be on extreme high. If I miss the opportunity, next 1.5 years is not going to help you to actually gain some more opportunities, because the prices, they will suddenly shoot up. I'm talking about the property prices, the rental income. If you are right now living in a rented apartment, so you will see actually the prices are going to be on the high. It's better if you are, it may be a small 1 BHK apartment of your own, that will eventually help you to eradicate the fear of maybe one day losing a job and I'm going to pay monthly rent up there. So if you are having a comfortable home to live, specifically in the city, that have the capacity to provide you with the job or business related opportunity, so you need to start looking up there or into that area. And diversification part is very important, that I initially told you. You need to diversify your money into multiple assets. Diversification will eventually help you to deal with this kind of a thing. Now, in the year 2007 and 8 also, no one have ever actually predicted like the crisis is going to be that much deeper. That is also one sort of a bubble. So bubble burst is, you see, the bubble is when bubble is bursting. This bubble burst is going to create more impact over the larger organizations. I'm not talking about a mid-scale industries here that are having maybe 100, 200 or 300 employee size. I'm talking about that are having more than 10,000 employees, 15, 20, 50,000, over 1 lakh employees there that are working up there. So you will see that, because the sign of Leo is actually the government, politics, okay? I will not actually go much into political predictions, but the Surya or planet Sun represents the government, politics of any company, of any country. It may be USA, it may be India, it may be any other country, China, Russia. So the global politics is getting impacted by Ketu. And if Ketu is coming in that realm, it becomes very difficult for the completion of anyone, of any president, any prime minister who is right now sitting in the chairs. It becomes very difficult for the completion actually, because Ketu is going to put forward some sort of bad politics in front of you. Because you need to understand, Ketu is not a planet that have the power of gathering, to gather people together and then run something. No, Ketu work independently. Now, if on the independent side you are having that sort of power, then you have the capacity to run efficiently. But if you are not independent, and if you are dependent politically, I'm talking about, over other areas, and that is where you will see the different countries actually, they're actually going to do the blame game over the other countries. Like, this country is responsible if something is happening in our country. That blame game part is going to once again come back here. And that is where it's very important as a country, if it's better for you to produce everything of your own. And that is where I also stressed over the manufacturing part in the Saturn in the transit of Pisces video. Like, manufacturing is the backbone for anything to survive. If most of the things are going to be service eccentric, as you can see from the past 18 years, what is happening? Service industry is on a rise actually. Sudden boom you can see. And no one actually wants to go into the manufacturing part. Now, if that manufacturing is not going to be happening, then backbone is not getting strengthened. I understand service industry is very important, but if you look into your own country as well, the amount of the industries that are into the manufacturing, they are getting reduced up to very large extent. Now, without manufacturing, even if, for example, I'm using a camera to film this video, someone need to manufacture this thing plastic parts, even the mirror and that lens glass part. So some need to manufacture that part. Now the shrinkage in the manufacturing is not a good thing. And that is where the previous transit of Rahu and Ketu, same thing that have happened. Manufacturing businesses, whenever they are actually getting shrinked. Now this is a major indicator, like something bad is happening, or some sort of thing which you will not be able to understand. Even my consciousness will not be able to understand. Something wrong is going on. I'm an astrologer. I'm not a financial expert here. I'm not even a person who is an economic kind of advisor. But with the help of astrology is also connected with each and everything. If the 11th house or the 11th zodiac sign represents the masses, it means Rahu going up there that have to deal with masses. If Leo represents the sign of Leo is actually Surya, that is power and politics, so something is going to be happening up there. Even a child or a beginner in astrology, they can understand these things. So there are going to be interruptions that is going to be happening up there. And that is where war. Saturn in the 12th house is not a good placement. I repeat, Saturn in the 12th house is not a good placement actually. Saturn feels comfortable in all the houses. Saturn is good in first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th. Up till 11th house, Saturn is good. But when Saturn goes into the 12th house, this is not a good indicator. We are having our Kal Pursh Kundli with us, okay? And if particularly you watching this video, you are having Saturn placement in the 12th house, irrespective of the zodiac sign placement, irrespective of its dignity. If you are having Saturn in the 12th house, the Saturn transit is more going to impact you people. The reason why Saturn is not good in the 12th house, because I don't know whether you are familiar with the concept of dual zodiac signs. There are certain fixed zodiac signs also. The sign of Pisces is a dual zodiac sign. It exhibits a dual nature, okay? The sign of Aquarius is a fixed zodiac sign. The sign of Leo on the other hand, where Ketu is also going to be a fixed. So here what is happening? Rahu and Ketu, they are stagnant up there. Stagnancy of Rahu and Ketu is not actually considered as a good thing. Whereas the Saturn is moving in the dual. Now when Saturn tries to exhibit the dual nature, you will see the good side and the bad side also. Everything for maybe good side of, like these are the flip side of one coin. On one side you can see good side and second side. Now Saturn in the sign of Pisces, it have the capacity to flip the coin and show the bad side. So you will be able to see the what bad might going to happen. And that might going to trigger the negative events also, negative thinking also. Because first of all, negative thinking is going to trigger, then the negative events might going to take place. So that have to deal with your consciousness, that have to deal with your mindset actually. I humbly request you in this time frame, focus upon gaining more and more knowledge. It's also very necessary actually from where you are gathering the knowledge. Because nowadays with one click or like you are flipping continuously different shots over the YouTube and you are like filling your mind with the different kind of information. Now it's very important for you to understand, like if I'm taking some information, that must need to be a filtered information. There must need to be some reliable sources behind them, some trustworthiness is going to be there. Because if you keep on gaining information irrespective of whether this might going to help you or not, that is also going to become very problematic. Even if you are thinking this video is not adding value to me, you can right now close it, okay? But you need to focus upon trusting the kind of things which have the capacity to bring value into your life. If something is adding value, I request you to go there. And if something is not adding value, don't go there. And that is where I told you now, adding value, if you will be able to feel, okay, if something is adding value in my life, stick with that part. Value addition is going to become very, very important. You see why these companies, they rise, Facebook, iPhone, Twitter, why they actually keep on growing. And now you will see certain slowdown is going to be there. If they will not be these previous technologies that have invented, even the Bitcoin, that have invented in the year 2007 or 6 or 8 around, if these previous technologies, they want to go for next 18 years, they need to actually manage or obey by the rules and regulations of Rahu. And Rahu is the continuous evolvement. Rahu shows continuous improvement. Now if that continues, and that is applicable to you as a human being as well. If suppose you are in the same place from past many years doing a mundane job, if you're in your maybe mid 40s, 50s, or maybe mid 60s, and nothing is happening in your life, no changes is coming from the job angle, you are stuck somewhere, you will not be able to find the sense of fulfillment, no relationship, nothing, no marriage, or if you are facing some major difficulties, these both transits, Saturn transit in the sign of Pisces and Rahu and Ketu in the sign of Aquarius and the Leo, these two transits have the capacity to create a lot of changes into your life. 11th house is also the house of opportunities. So here the opportunities are actually going to be coming in your way, but it's very important for you to act actually, because if you will not be able to make actions, decisions, or you will not be able to take risk, it becomes very difficult for you to progress ahead. I made one small clippings over the year 2025 is also going to be ruled by Mars actually. So Mars is energy. Mars represents the Urja. So if you will not be able to exert Urja on immediate basis, it becomes very, very difficult for you. But I'm 100% sure opportunities are going to be there. Ever expanding opportunities are going to be there. Now, during that time frame, for example, some person have invested a good portion of money in the Bitcoin way back in the year 2008. You have made a fortune as of now. If you maybe have joined some technological things, or you have started working over the maybe YouTube, Facebook, even the YouTube is also acquired by Google in the year 2007 or 8, I believe. So if, for example, you have missed that opportunity way back in the year 2007 and 8, this is the time frame where you need to get your hands into that area. Whatever new technologies are coming, start learning towards them. This will eventually help you to make a better next 18 years of your life. Okay. So I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations, feel free to contact me at my email ID. And I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If you require any marriage, career, spiritual, business consultation, do let me know. You can also check out my other videos over this YouTube channel. You might find them to be very fascinating. And yes, this is addictive. Vedic astrology is a very addictive thing. Once you get addicted, there is no any other pathway. So try to learn and share this video with other people so that they can also gain the knowledge of this marvelous subject. If like from many years actually, this knowledge have been suppressed, many years. Actually, there are many restrictions over this knowledge also. If you go back in the 2000, 1990, 90, 89 also, during that time frame, it's very difficult for you to access the knowledge. But nowadays it's easy. So gain this knowledge. It's very important. And if you gain some value, feel free to subscribe my channel below. And yes, of course, you can send me super thanks also. If you have find maybe this much value, you can contribute this much. This will give me the motivation to make more such videos. Okay. And feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.